Welcome back to the show. We got another great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. Join us in the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Click that join button and come on in. For less than the cost of a cup of coffee, you get every daily video with zero Google ads plus extra content. And let me tell you, that's worth the price of admission right there, the zero Google ads. Get yourself in this group. It's a great way to support the channel, and we do get the ability to touch on a lot of topics, and today, boy, are we going to get into it. I hope you will join us, and you can hit the description box, and by the way, when you hit that description box, you're going to see this when you come on in. It's Caleb and Brown, ladies and gentlemen, digital asset investor, and myself have struck a deal, and we have finally found it after years of looking. And we've been watching Caleb and Brown for 3 years since they've been coming to XRP Las Vegas. And I tell you, this is what we've been waiting for. Since we've got into crypto, there's no more worrying if I've been hacked, if my transfer went through, or if I set my market orders correctly. With Caleb and Brown, I finally have institutional grade custody for my XRP and a real person I can speak with anytime I need support. You're never going to find that anywhere else in this crypto space currently today. This is the place where you get a personal rep. On the phone, talk to a real person. That right there, you should be flocking to this thing right away. Plus the institutional grade custody. They've completely eliminated the fear of losing my assets or struggling with self-custody. Caleb and Brown is redefining what service looks like for everyday investors. This is a total game changer. Click the link underneath the video and get your account open. Moon is coming. Don't mess around. Get yourself to a place where you know when that time comes, you're going to need to speak to a human being, and you want to lay your head down at night and know that your assets are absolutely safe, institutional grade custody. Click the link below. Let's get started right here. Well, the long-awaited Bill Hinman report from the IG of the SEC is out, and it is a disappointment. The scope of the review was very narrowly confined to only assess whether Hinman broke any criminal laws, and of course, the investigation was conducted and the report completed under the Gensler regime. So here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is that moment when you watch your tax dollars manipulated by what is supposed to be a respected government agency, SEC with integrity, which from this report clearly isn't, just so they can facilitate another lie because that's easier than dealing with the truth. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's the truth. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this. Talk about long overdue. This is Taylor Barr from the Digital Chamber and Eleanor Terrett. The Digital Chamber and Eleanor Terrett will be at XRP Las Vegas on stage. Did you get your ticket? Oh my goodness. You want to meet Brad Garlinghouse, Simon McLaughlin, Keith Grossman, Kevin Maloney. You want to meet Dr. Chris Brummer, Chris Giancarlo. Are we kidding right now? I know I want to meet all of you. Not to mention the fact of what you're going to learn at this year's conference is going to be absolutely profound and powerful. Make the investment in yourself and get the ticket. Here we see commingling funds and require them to comply with monthly reserve inspections. Hello, this could have been done a long time ago if it wasn't for Biden and Gary Gensler. But yet here we are, and it's getting done now. Well, the Federal Reserve, should not be a shocker to anyone. Neil Kashkari said the Fed has tools to provide more liquidity. Oh, really, Neil? That's what okay. Yeah, so in other words, we're getting ready to turn the printer back on, right? Which is, in other words, the crypto and assets are about to go insane if that happens. And speaking of which, Tucrium, that has the 2-time leverage ETF, future ETF, not spot. But listen to what they say in this clip.
down the road. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later, but let's say spot XRP ETFs are approved. Could this actually hold the spot crypto asset itself in XRP?
The way the prospectus is worded is yes, we can hold. Okay. We can hold just about any XRP instrument we deem appropriate.
Okay. And I alluded.
Wow. So that means watch out. That XRP ETF, it could be coming a lot sooner than people realize. Super excited about that because of the draw on liquidity and the market it will have, especially when we get all 18 and 19 once BlackRock joins the pile. That's going to be amazing. Don't forget, Bitcoin launched and had 3 ETFs. Ethereum launched and had 1. We're waiting for 18, 19 ETFs, spot ETFs to be launched at the same time. Oh my goodness. Okay, now listen to this. This is Bitcoin Maxis figuring out. Just listen to this. They're reading the news of Ripple acquiring prime broker Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, and listen to what the Bitcoin Maxis reaction to it is. Oh, this is cute.
Blockbuster acquisition, they acquired Hidden Road, $1.25 billion. So if folks don't know Hidden Road, they process 3 trillion in transactions every year. As a part of this acquisition, Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD will become core collateral across the Hidden Road services. Hidden Road's post-trade activity will move to the XRP ledger, and now Ripple's going to offer custody, financing, and clearing to Hidden Road clients. It's a pretty big deal, it feels like. Ripple already had the army behind it. It felt a little to me like fake it till you make it, but like, did they just make it with this acquisition? I mean, this feels like they have some real institutional power now.
Look at the look on his face, like, uh-oh, wow, what are we going to do about all this? Nothing's what you're going to do about all of it, because this is what's going on. Think of this for a moment. What does Bitcoin look beside XRP with the recent acquisition of Hidden Road and $3 trillion annually to be tokenized and settled on the XRP ledger? See the look on his face? Maxis are just starting to realize we were never faking it. Ripple has been focused on success inside the financial system. That requires legal and legislative clarity. And that's why he's stuck with the dumb chin rub. If Maxis aren't careful, they're going to find themselves beautifully equipped for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Utility. Let's take a look at something here. 1.6 trillion, right? 100,000 million, billion, trillion. 1.6 trillion is where Bitcoin sits today, right? And he's rubbing his chin because we're getting ready to put 3 trillion on the ledger. That is fear, is what you're seeing right there in that man's face. Uh-oh. How's your fancy little shiny Bitcoin doing? If it doesn't find some utility, it's going to get really tough for Bitcoin holders. And I don't want to see that. But that's the hard, cold truth. Just like we spent over 4 years looking at the hard, cold truth of being sued by the SEC while everyone else tried to tie an anchor around our feet. Let's see how that lawsuit to find out who the 4 Satoshis are by James Meta Lawman Murphy goes, suing the Department of Homeland Security. Let's see what the Maxis think of that one. Your turn. Now, about a month ago, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stu Alderati, announced the case is being dropped. Seriously, don't people know the case is over, settled? Settlement. Remember the word we all wanted to hear? It's been announced. As below, dotting the I's and crossing of the T's is left. Filing, it's no longer an if, it's done. That's the post from Stuart Alderati. So, and here's Brad Garlinghouse yesterday on Fox with Liz Clayman breaking it down to a T. And the SEC and Ripple are now even discussing the settlement of $50 million being paid directly in XRP. And wouldn't that go right to a stockpile at the Treasury?
So we have reached agreement with staff, and usually what happens is you reach agreement with staff makes recommendation to the commission, and then the commission votes. So anytime we make announcements about that, we are clear that we've reached agreement with staff. The commission hasn't yet voted, but what we've agreed is to dismiss and move on. We're actually getting the SEC we had put in escrow a potential fine of $125 million. We're actually taking most of that back, including the interest that had been earned along the way. And I think it's just evidence that the Gensler SEC was on the wrong side of the law. And thanks to the new leadership at the SEC and in the White House, I think we're seeing a much more constructive, much more pro-innovation. We want these industries to grow at home.
When you say most of the $125 million you had parked in that little fund in case of the worst case scenario, what's left? Can you give us some?
The SEC is going to end up with a $50 million. The U.S. government's going to get $50 million. We've even talked about making that available in XRP. But look, at the end of the day, this is a major step forward. You know, I think if you kind of zoom out and look at this, the Trump administration is absolutely living up to their promises.
There you have it. Listen, this is getting really good. I mean, really good. I mean, if the U.S. government receives the fine in XRP, that's an official endorsement by the U.S. government. And if the government accepts crypto, well, remember that time when Brad was sitting on stage with the IMF lawyer, Ross Lacow? Remember what they said?
Can you see those? Oh, there's 2 votes.
Let me try.
Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? Oh, they're over here. That's easier. You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things.
Listen.
I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe I should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we
look,
stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
And
you know, and just finding out that there would be holding it, right? Just holding it in a stockpile gets one step closer to that conversation being very, very real. It's super exciting to me. Look, this is the whole interview right here. And shout out to Bank XRP. Give him a follow. I want to play this whole thing for you, but let me go through this last couple pieces, and then I'll put it at the end for anybody who wants to skip it. But you've got the highlight, but the whole thing's fantastic. You should watch the whole thing. Dark Defender says right here, XRP update weekly chart. This weekly corrective ABC pattern has been completed. XRP will shortly test $2.30 plus levels and try to break the weekly resistance. Historical pattern tells us, oh boy, the midsummer will be double hot like an espresso. Monthly wave 5 heralds new all-time highs. Have a great weekend. And you too, Dark Defender, no doubt about it. That's where we're at today. Egg Rag Crypto says, watch out. If history repeats and a similar explosive move follows, a crypto analyst predicts XRP could skyrocket to an eye-popping $30. He keeps saying he sees it on the chart. And I've showed it to you a mess of times. Look, we're getting the legislative clarity. What will be interesting is how many of these price targets that we've seen for so long actually become realized once we get the legislative clarity or not. And that's going to be fun for me. No doubt about it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. We're going into the Freedom Zone, and I'm going to play the rest of that Brad Garlinghouse video for anybody who wants it, and then give you some other pieces of news as well. So let's go ahead and bring that back.